Thank you, Adrian. Evening, everybody. Up until the 90th minute in St. Petersburg last time out, we were starting to consider the possibility of no more Neymar at this World Cup, but the Seleção and their talisman finally found a way past Costa Rica twice to set up the chance to seal qualification with a point here tonight. Brazil haven't failed to make it out of a group stage since 1966 and all that. But it's far from straightforward against the Serbia side, who, along with Switzerland, can overhaul the 5-time world champs if they win here at the Spartak Stadium. Serbia never qualified out of a World Cup group since separating from Montenegro after the 2006 World Cup, and there's a number of players in Mladen Krstajić's squad who beat Gabriel Jesus and Brazil in the Under-20 World Cup final back in 2015, and two of those young players start tonight in Sergej Milinkovic-Savic of Lazio, and Spurs fans, do you remember Milos Veljkovic? Well, he's one of 3 changes brought in by the Serbian coach from last time out when they lost to Switzerland. Rukavina, Ljajic and Veljkovic come in. Tosic, Ivanovic and Milivojevic miss out. So it's Vladimir Stojkovic in goal for Serbia, Antonio Rukavina, Nikola Milenkovic, Milos Veljkovic and Alexander Kolarov are the back four. Nemanja Matic looks like the holding midfielder. Sergej Milinkovic-Savic, Adam Ljajic, Filip Kostic and Dusan Tadic will play in the rest of midfield. In behind, Alexander Mitrovic. As for Brazil, well, their coach Tite announced his team yesterday, and despite suggestions to the contrary, Neymar is not playing as a false 9 in place of Gabriel Jesus. It's as you were from that late win over Costa Rica. Alisson in goal, Fagner, Thiago Silva, Miranda, who skippers tonight on his 50th appearance for his country, and Marcelo across the back. Casemiro, Paulinho and Coutinho in midfield. Neymar, Willian and Gabriel Jesus in attack. Our referee tonight is from Iran, Alireza Faghani, and Mr. Massimiliano Irati is up in the VAR box with his cohorts in case anything is required outside of pitch side. Brazil will get us underway, and as Adrian so beautifully described, it's just a mass of colour around all 4 stands of this stadium, predominantly yellow, I have to say, and it's Brazil, despite being the notional away side in this game, still have their traditional yellow shirts, blue shorts and white socks. We are underway on TalkSport here at the Spartak Stadium in Moscow. Serbia wearing all red with a white trim down the shoulders and the sides of the shorts, and Serbia will be kicking towards the far right hand side as we look from our commentary position, which is beautifully only about 20 yards from the pitch side, near side, quite low down compared to some of the commentary positions you've had, Matt Holland.
Yeah, if I'm being picky, it's probably a little bit too close to the pitch, but actually we've got a great view of the benches, which are only 15-20 yards in front of us. The Serbia bench anyway, Brazil a little bit further to our right.
Yeah. And Messrs Krstajić and Chichi are both out at the edge of those technical areas. Dusan Tadic tries to win possession of Coutinho on the halfway line. It's poked out of play by Antonio Rukavina, brought into the side today presumably with a bit more pace to deal with the threat of Neymar down the Brazilian left. Marcelo will have the throw into the chest of Gabriel Jesus, who feeds it at left, and Neymar right in front of our commentary position gets his first touch, but he has it taken off his toe by the other number 10 out there, Dusan Tadic. One back by Casemiro, floats it into the middle of the Serbian half, but it's picked up instead by Nemanja Matic. He drives it out to Alexander Kolarov on the left hand side. A chance for Kolarov to make his first advance into Brazilian territory, but he decides not to. Matic turns away from Paulinho, tries to play the ball up to the halfway line, but that's intercepted by Fagner. Willian coming deep, finds Neymar, chance to run at the Serbian back four. Neymar going towards the edge of the area, still got it, touch on his left foot, finds Coutinho at the edge of the box, tries it against his teammate Jesus, who was in an offside position, and the flag has gone up for a Serbian free kick. But there we saw early, Matt Holland, the jet heels of Neymar Jr.
It's great to see. We want to see Neymar at his very best, running at people, committing people, opening up the defences. Fantastic play from him. Nice to see him at it from the very start. You know, group games, these last group games, can be a bit cagey at times. We saw that yesterday. Unfortunately, we had to witness France against Denmark. But today, We've seen Germany go out, Sweden thrash Mexico. Let's hope for a bit more of the same tonight.
Adrian watched that game again on the telly this morning. He's mad. Free kick from Serbia, sent downfield, looking for Mitrovic to get a flick on, but headed up in the air by the Brazilian skipper Miranda, who, as I mentioned, clocks up a half-century of caps tonight for his country. Lovely turn from Willian on the far side of the field, but he was dispossessed by Kolarov. Illegally so, says our Iranian referee. So Brazil have a free kick in the right-back position, midway point of their own half. 0-0 with 2.5 gone. Don't forget, Switzerland-Costa Rica also underway tonight in this group, and Switzerland can overhaul both of these sides and finish top.
Adrian's taken great delight in telling everyone that Germany have gone out. I think he's told everyone about 15 times. Can you imagine if Germany and Brazil go out on the same day? Wow.
Well, this World Cup's so good, it's made you two forget about Love Island. That's how good it's been. Here's Miranda, out to the left-hand side of Marcelo, still inside his own half. Floats it over the halfway to Coutinho, who holds off a defender. Ball's played through for Jesus, who is onside according to the assistant on the far side. Neymar on the follow-up, turn wide by Coutinho, and finally the offside flag goes up. Matt Holland alongside me couldn't believe the flag didn't go up initially for Jesus. He looked a mile off.
He was about 5 yards offside. I cannot believe that he hasn't put his flag up. And they said for tight ones, keep your flag down. Well, he's about 4 yards offside. Get your flag up, man.
But danger averted in the end for Serbia, and they have a free kick that their goalkeeper Vladimir Stojkovic of Partizan will take. Always wears his black and white headband. Not that he's got particularly long hair, must be a good look, charm or something that he always wears. Wearing all black in the Serbian goal tonight. Looking downfield for Mitrovic, but he was offside as he collected that goal kick in front of Miranda. And so now Brazil have themselves a free kick inside their own half. 0-0, 4 gone.
One of the things that we did notice, particularly at the national anthems, was how big Serbia are compared to Brazil.
Massive.
Huge side.
Set pieces will be interesting, and we saw Brazil concede a set piece against Switzerland, of course, in that game we saw in Rostov, where Zubet, who's not available tonight for Switzerland incidentally, powered home a header from a corner. Brazil have a throw inside their own half. Massive noise inside this stadium. Singing, I hope it's coming across to you listening at home on TalkSport, just how intense the atmosphere is here. It's joyful though. It's not an intense sort of worried atmosphere, it's just one of pure joy. As Serbia win a free kick on the far side of the field as Willian took Alexander Kolarov to ground. And so the former Manchester City man who scored that wonderful free kick in the first game against Costa Rica will have the free kick for Serbia.
I think it's a bit of a weakness actually, the full-backs for Serbia. Kolarov, I know Ivanovic has been taken out of the team today, even Rukavina. They're aging. I mean, Kolarov's 32, he's 34. They could have some joy down the flanks, Brazil, today.
Mitrovic won't stick with him as the free kick sent up to his chest. He chested it down, but far too far in front of him to get a second touch. Marcelo plays the ball in field, turned round the corner by Paulinho, but given away. And now Dusan Tadic in the right wing for Serbia. In slides Marcelo. He gets the better of him by dragging the ball away. Heads for the byline. Actually goes into the area, and it comes off Paulinho. Miranda trying to prevent the corner right on the byline. And it's taken out by Casemiro and punted up to the halfway line, where Jesus just tried to turn away from Milos Veljkovic but couldn't do so. And now Veljkovic will run back into his own half to retrieve possession. It was a Spurs youth, you might remember, Spurs fans, made a couple of sub-appearances for Tottenham back in 2014. Milos Veljkovic wearing the number 13 for Serbia tonight. And here's the number 11, Kolarov, who's dispossessed. Willian runs into trouble on the halfway line. He was dispossessed by Milinkovic-Savic. Now it's Lanic out to the right-hand side looking for Dusan Tadic again. Down the right-hand side of the box for Rukavina, who can clip it across the 6-yard line. It's half cleared out to Tadic, right-hand corner of the box. Floats it deep to the far post. Headed back across by Kostic. Thiago Silva in ahead of Mitrovic. And Mitrovic obstructed Thiago Silva getting to the header, and he's been penalised by the referee. And Mitrovic is right in his face. We've played 6.5 minutes on TalkSport. Serbia 0, Brazil 0.
Well, that all came about because Neymar didn't track a runner. Now, I know he'll argue that he's not in the team for that he's not got to defend, but you do. I don't care how good you are. His fullback's just gone past him and he stood still and watched him.
They've only met once in the Serbia era, Brazil and Serbia. It was a friendly in Sao Paulo back in 2014 that was won by a goal to nil by the Brazilians. when it was the former Yugoslavia. They won 2 of their first 3 meetings back in the 1930s, but none since, whether it be Yugoslavia, Serbia and Montenegro, or now Serbia against Brazil. And they need to win tonight to be certain of qualification. A draw might just do it for Serbia, but that would be wholly dependent on Costa Rica getting a number of goals against Switzerland.
There's a problem for Marcelo. I'm sure of it. He's speaking to the medical staff now. He's in trouble.
He's got his hands on his hips. He's still on the field, and he's not gone to ground. He's still stood up, but there's 2 members of the Brazilian coaching staff who come outside their technical area to have a word with him, and Filipe Luis is warming up on the touchline just to our right-hand side. Marcelo's race may be run here, Matt Holland.
Yeah, he's done. He said to the staff he can't continue. He's trying to waste as much time as possible to give Filipe Luis a chance to warm up and get him onto the pitch. And the referee's telling him to get off. He's not having any of it.
Well, that must have happened off the ball. I didn't see a particular challenge that might have brought that injury on for Marcelo. We play on, and the ball's been clipped back to the goalkeeper, and Marcelo's just going to have to walk off the field, and Brazil will temporarily be down to 10 men. Filipe Luis is now stripped and ready with his number 6 shirt. It will be a straight swap. And Alisson, the goalkeeper, telling his players to get forward, and he's just going to be a passenger for the next few moments. Marcelo standing on the halfway line.
And look who's filled in for him at left back. Jesus.
Team player. Serbia then have a temporary man advantage here on TalkSport. Even though he's on the pitch, he's not doing anything, Marcelo. He's just stood right by the halfway line. Neymar trying to do it all himself. Takes the ball down 35 yards out. Got 3 Serbian shirts around him. Flicks it out to the left. Coutinho will keep it in play. Level with the edge of the Serbian penalty area. Nobody in the box wearing a yellow shirt, so Coutinho checks back and finds Casemiro. Back it goes to Miranda on the halfway line. Played out right to Fagner. Playing it right back for a second game in a row in place of the injured Danilo. Willian takes it out of play. That's a throw. That will allow the change to be made. And it is, as I say, a straight swap with Filipe Luis coming on for Marcelo. And we see the former Chelsea man, of course, he's back at Atletico Madrid these days, Filipe Luis.
Well, it's a huge blow for Brazil so early in the game to lose one of their star players, and they do an awful lot of attacking down this left-hand side. Marcelo, Neymar, Coutinho. Most of their play does come down this flank. I mean, he's not brilliant defensively. He does give you a chance because he leaves space in behind him. So Filipe Luis will perhaps not venture forward as much as him, but an awful lot of their attacking play does come down the left.
Big blow for Brazil then. 10 minutes played on TalkSport, and they've already been forced into making a change with Luis, who's in possession now, on for Marcelo. Neymar on the halfway line, hugging the left-hand touchline. Tries to thread the ball through for Gabriel Jesus in field, but it's too far ahead of him, and it's back in the arms of Stojkovic for Serbia. And he beckons his players to go forward. He's just going to lump this one downfield, one for Mitrovic to fight for. Looks like he's pulling onto the shoulder of Thiago Silva. Mitrovic, up he goes to try and win the header, heads it down, but he can't find Ljajic. Instead it's Willian who hooks it clear up to the halfway line. Fight ball there between Milenkovic and Gabriel Jesus, which is won by the Serbian centre-half. But here comes Coutinho, out to the left-hand side, and Neymar, midway point of the Serbian half. Tadic comes to close him down, just wriggles away from him for a moment. Luis on the overlap, but instead Neymar goes in field to Coutinho, round about the same sort of position for where he scored that wonder goal against Switzerland. Now it's out to the right-hand side, and Willian dispossessed, and away comes Kolarov for Serbia. And now Kostic pushing forward, brought down by a combination of Willian and Fagner. Free kick to Serbia inside the Brazil half. 11 minutes gone on TalkSport, 0-0.
He's one of those that has struggled so far. Willian, there was a lot of talk that he may well have been left out today, but he's been given the nod again. But he hasn't started well, given the ball away a couple of times.
And so Serbia have a free kick. It's no more than 2 yards in from the touchline left-hand side, but only about 8 or 9 yards over the halfway line. Kolarov is the man that's going to take it. Centre-halves are up from the back. Milinkovic-Savic is lurking at the far post, but he's been watched by Paulinho. Now he makes a run in field as the ball goes into the box. Up goes Alisson, and elects to punch clear with his right hand out for a throw on this near side, 5 yards from the corner flag for Serbia, 0-0.
Yeah, that's good goalkeeping, and particularly when you're up against a big team like that, you need your goalkeeper off his line, alert, and a good punch out.
Quickly taken throw by Rukavina. Worked in field, or intended to be worked in field by Lalic. But that's one back by Brazil, pumped up to halfway, but Belskovic will work it all the way back in turn to the Serbian goalkeeper Stojkovic, who punts it downfield right-footed, looking again for Aleksandar Mitrovic. Gets the flick on. Tadic won't get the second ball. Miranda got there first to head it up into the Moscow night sky. Back on halfway, Serbia win possession again. Milinkovic-Savic just about finds Nemanja Matic alongside him in midfield. And then the ball's threaded through into the Brazilian half with a poor pass that Fagner can pick up. Late call up to the squad, of course. Dani Alves, we knew wouldn't be part of the 23, and he was at home. I remember seeing video footage of the delight from him and his family when he found out through Brazilian television that he was in the squad. He's taken the free kick quickly that he's won, and Miranda strokes the ball out left to Felipe Luis. Tadic comes to close him down, but Felipe Luis steps in field neatly, finds Gabriel Jesus, but a heavy touch from him allows Milinkovic-Savic to win it back. Now Rukavina, the right back for Serbia, looks for Mitrovic, tried to nod it into the right wing position for Tadic to chase onto, but got too much on it. Throw to Brazil, 0-0, but an intriguing first 13 minutes on TalkSport.
He's a handful, Mitrovic. Whatever you think about him, sometimes he can be overly physical, but he's won 4 or 5 out of 6 aerial challenges so far. Miranda, Thiago Silva, though they've been in a game.
Yeah, he's worked off both of them so far, hasn't he, to try and win those punts downfield from either defender or goalkeeper. Ball's high in the sky again, and it comes off Neymar, stays in play on this near side, but Laic can pick it up. Now Milinkovic-Savic driving to the edge of the area, leaves it for a drive from Kostic that deflects off a Brazilian leg, and despite the best efforts of Alisson, goes behind for Serbia's first corner of the game on 14 minutes, 0-0.
Yeah, it's interesting to see Milinkovic-Savic as well, playing that slightly deeper role. He's been in the number 10 position so far in the first couple of matches, but he's got the nod alongside Matic.
It's going to be Kolarov that's going to take this corner kick, a left-footed outswinger for Serbia. Deep to the far post, headed up in the air by Mitrovic. Kostic tries to nod it down for a teammate. He'll get it back and work it back into midfield for Laic. Back out to the left-hand side, the far side of the field from us and Kolarov. But he's closed down immediately by Fagner, so Serbia have to go back into their own half, and indeed all the way back to their goalkeeper Stojkovic.
That's a shame, because once it goes wide, don't be afraid, just put the ball into the box, because you are such a big team. Everyone's gone up anyway for the corner.
Mitrovic again the target for a long ball downfield. That's a clear tactic from Stojkovic. Here's Tadic in possession, right hand side, 25 yards out, just drifts infield for a moment, finds Nemanja Matic. We've seen him score some wonderful goals. That one at Crystal Palace in the Premier League for Manchester United, right up there as one of the goals of the season in the Premier League. Kostic now down the left-hand side of the area for Serbia, clips the ball in. Mitrovic tries to chest it down into his own path. Brazil do just about enough to get it clear. Mitrovic has stayed down, feeling he was fouled, and as he picks himself up, away goes Neymar into the Serbian half. Down the left-hand side, just flicks the ball in field to the middle of the half, and Paulinho. First-time ball for Coutinho, deliciously out to the right for Willian. Taking on 2 Serbian players. Well, it was a good strong driving run from Willian, but when the cross came in, it was too strong and too heavy and went straight behind for a Serbian goal kick. 0-0 on TalkSport.
Well, it was excellent from Serbia to get back into position so quickly. There were 5 or 6 players absolutely bursting a gut to get back into their shape. And look at the other end, and was there a foul on Mitrovic? And they just got caught when Miranda was making the clearance. He got caught where you don't want to get caught.
0-0 here after 15 minutes. Same score between Switzerland and Costa Rica in tonight's other game in this group. Switzerland win, that puts both these sides under pressure. Here is Kolarov for Serbia in the left back position. As it stands, Brazil will go through. They only need a point. It's Serbia that are under threat if Switzerland get a goal. Of course, that can all change, so I've got the abacus and the slide rule ready just in case. Willian for Brazil skips infield from the right-hand side, gets to the halfway line, but then he tried to pass through the halfway line to Coutinho, got dispossessed, and away comes Kolarov down the left.
Unknown.
For Serbia, just flicks the ball infield for Laic. Good drop of the shoulder and moves infield, tries to roll the ball up to the edge of the D, and Mitrovic. Up steps Miranda to win it back, the skipper. Neymar inside his own half finds Felipe Luis, who, if you're just tuning in, has had to come on early for the injured Marcelo. 10 minutes had elapsed when Marcelo could play no further part, and the former Chelsea left-back is on in his place. It is Paulinho coming deep to pick at the ball, to find Felipe Luis once again, looking for an option. Neymar's come short, right on the halfway line. And hugging the left-hand touchline is Philippe Coutinho. He has to go back once again to his skipper. Miranda and Thiago Silva exchange passes. Thiago Silva still preferred to Marquinhos in the Brazilian back four, despite Marquinhos playing far more of the qualifiers. Ball played through, looking for Paulinho on the run from Coutinho with his weaker foot. I say weaker, but he's got a brilliant right foot as well. It's just too far ahead of Paulinho, and Stojkovic could claim 0-0.
But it was really good movement from Brazil. Jesus came short to open up the space for Paulinho to run into. You're going to have runners from midfield, and Paulinho did try to get in behind. The pass from Coutinho just slightly overhit. That's better from Brazil.
Serbia's last World Cup game against South American oppositions, one to forget, the 6-0 against Argentina back in 2006. You might remember that goal from... he's gone completely out of my head. It was a 24-pass move. Chap who went to play for Leicester City. His name's gone completely out of my head. Baldhead. It'll come to me in a moment. Anyway, Serbia 0, Brazil 0. With 18 minutes played on TalkSport. Miranda strokes it out left to Felipe Luis. Neymar on the halfway line. Gives it back to Felipe Luis. Now he goes to the right-hand side and Fagner. Thiago Silva's faced up by Mitrovic, so he strokes it to his left and finds Miranda once again. He's trying to size up his options, but again, not much movement for the moment ahead of him. Now Neymar has possession, hugging the left-hand touchline, comes in field and hits a ball over the top, intended for Paulinho, once again trying to get in behind Matic. It's headed clear by Matic, but only as far as Willian, 25 yards out to the right-hand side. Now it's Willian once again. Good ball down the right-hand side of the box for Paulinho. Crosses into the near post, and Veljkovic hits it against Kolarov, who puts it behind for a Brazilian corner. Their first of the game on 19 minutes, 0-0.
Yeah, I like those runs from Paulinho, just stretching Serbia's defence. And it works well. Every time Jesus vacates that space, he's the one that runs into it.
Corner to Brazil, taken short by Willian, and rolled to Neymar, is now playing on the right-hand corner of the penalty box for Brazil. Flicks it infield to Coutinho, drifting into the centre of the Serbian half. Just to his left is Thiago Silva. Clips the ball to the right-hand side of the area where Neymar tried to hook it over the head of Kolarov, but Kolarov got it clear. Now Kostic driving towards the halfway line for Serbia. Not got much support ahead of him, but he's got men moving up to his right-hand side. One of them is Rukavina, the right-back. He plays a 1-2 in Nemanja Matic. Matic has it again, under pressure from Coutinho, but he got away with trying to roll the ball clear, and then he lost possession, and Felipe Luis then runs into Milinkovic-Savic, and it's all getting a bit scrappy right in front of us. And then Milinkovic-Savic clears downfield, and it's chased after by Alexander Mitrovic. Esteban Cambiasso, that's who it was, for Argentina against Serbia and Montenegro back in 2006. Back it goes to Stojkovic in the Serbian goal. How do you feel Serbia have coped in this opening 20 minutes with Brazil, Matt Holland?
They'll be thrilled. I think the shape of the team's been really good, and Milinkovic-Savic has done a good job alongside Matic. One of the things with him playing in there, though, what they do miss is when the ball goes wide, his late runs into the box. That's something that's taken away from the game, but he's doing a good job alongside Nemanja Matic.
He refused to play in that position under the previous coach, Milinkovic-Savic, believing his role was far further forward. That's where he's been effective for Lazio. Mitrovic turns a lovely ball round the corner for Kostic, left-hand side, right by the byline, and he hits it against Fagner and wins the corner for Serbia. Again, a set piece to try and test the Brazilians with here.
Given as good as they got, 20 minutes into the game, I wouldn't say that either team are on top. Brazil started quite brightly. The loss of Marcelo has thrown them a little bit.
Adam Ljajic with the corner for Serbia this time. He'll be a right-footed in-swinger for Serbia. Goes right underneath the crossbar. Again, Alisson punches clear. Out to Rukavina on the right-hand side. Rolls it down the right-hand side of the box where Tadic is being faced by Felipe Luis. Tadic plays a lovely ball infield to Matic. Right at the corner of the area, right-hand side. Rukavina can tease in across, but doesn't quite get it into the area. Kostic tries to head it down the left-hand side, and it's Jesus back defending to hook it away hurriedly for Brazil. But Matic wins the header in the centre circle, only to present it to Gabriel Jesus, who's moved further forward.
Alisson's been great for Brazil in goal. The fact that when it comes into the box, he's their tallest player by some distance, actually. Just to come out over the top of his defenders and go and claim or punch.
Serbia 0, Brazil 0 on TalkSport. Switzerland 0, Costa Rica 0. That's on TalkSport 2 right now with Adam Bridge and John Hartson, if you want to pick up commentary of that game. Switzerland in the mix in this group as well, in trying to qualify for the round of 16. Brazil need a point to qualify. As it stands, they've got it. Ball played forward, looking for Coutinho. Half cleared by Serbia, but now Coutinho has it back. Midway point of the Serbian half. Tries to step away from Milinkovic-Savic, and then Ljajic takes it off his toe. Tadic on halfway hits the ball against Casemiro, and that's neatly tidied up by Miranda back to his keeper, Alisson.
So tight and congested, those central areas. Serbia are flooding the midfield, making it difficult to be played through.
Miranda once more then, the skipper for Brazil, finds his Atletico Madrid teammate Felipe Luis, gets to the halfway line, just gives it to Neymar standing right on the touchline on this near side, the Brazilian left. Feeds the ball in field to Coutinho. Thiago Silva gets it back. He's already been captain. They've rotated the captaincy in all three group stage games. Miranda tonight was Marcelo before, and Thiago Silva kicked us off. But everyone says if Brazil get as far as lifting the thing, just try and stop Neymar getting to the trophy first. Up to the halfway line, Felipe Luis clips the ball right for Thiago Silva. Gabriel Jesus, not much movement from him up ahead of him. Coutinho's coming short to try and pick up the ball. Miranda finds Felipe Luis instead. Serbia are keeping a watchful eye on all the creative, inventive stars of Brazil. And they've got two men on Neymar there. They force a throw right in front of the Serbian coach, Mladen Krstajic. It'll be Felipe Luis to take it.
I was about to say that every time that Neymar gets the ball, they do double up on him. Tadic is doing a good job of getting back into shape and helping his fullback.
Felipe Luis finds Neymar once more, again hugging the left-hand touchline. Lovely ball across to Fagner on the right-hand side. How he saw that, I have no idea. Eyes in the back of his head, but he spread play from left to right in an instant for Brazil. Midway through the first half, goalless here on TalkSport. Felipe Luis plays the ball into the feet of Gabriel Jesus, who teases the ball at left for Neymar. Through the legs of Milinkovic-Savic, down the left-hand side of the box for Jesus. Got two players for company. Gets it through the legs of another. Neymar with a shot. Great save, Stojkovic. Threw out to left hand and got something on it to divert it away from goal. And Serbia clear for a throw on halfway. It's 0-0, and Jesus has stayed down.
Well, that's Brazil all over. Slow, and all of a sudden they just inject a bit of tempo into their attacking play, and they almost make the breakthrough. Tight, congested, a little flick through someone's legs. Fantastic play. Neymar just continued his running. A little bit of fortune that it fell into his path, but he was alive to it. One touch out of his feet, quickly got his shot away. Good save.
Not sure whether it was goal ban, very hard to tell from the angles we've seen. But meantime, I mentioned Gabriel Jesus going down. He wasn't caught particularly, but he's got a problem with his left foot. He's taken his left boot off, and they've got the freeze spray going straight on to his left sock to try and administer some early treatment. This is something that Brazil fans will have hearts in their mouths over.
Definitely worrying times right now. Lost Marcelo already. It's looking like Jesus is in big trouble as well. Chiche is looking to his bench again.
Well, it was Sergej Milinkovic-Savic who was going in for a challenge with him, and I'm not sure whether it was more Gabriel Jesus just planting his left foot on the ground a little bit awkwardly. But he's back on his feet and limping off behind the goal. We'll see whether he's going to be able to continue. He's still got his left boot off, so he's going to stick that back on pronto. But again, just for the moment, as we resume play on TalkSport, Brazil are a man light. 0-0, 26 minutes played. And that, I think, was the first shot on target that we've seen from either side tonight. That little flick towards goal from Neymar that Stojkovic dealt with so well.
Brazil's first shot, I think.
Yep. Miranda in possession. Jesus has his boot back on, and he's jogging down this near touchline right in front of our commentary position. Looks okay. Looks like the limp he had when he first started running is largely disappearing, so we'll be back on for Brazil shortly. And indeed he is. So we're back up to 11 against 11 again on TalkSport. 26 and a half minutes played. Serbia 0, Brazil 0. Still 0-0 between Switzerland and Costa Rica. That game live on TalkSport 2 as this Group E completes. Here is Fagner. Good run over the halfway line. Skipped inside two Serbian players and plays the ball in field to Coutinho. Midway point of the half. Early ball ligament Neymar. Played it with the outside of his right boot, but out of play. Neymar at full stretch couldn't keep it in place. Serbia have a throw.
Yeah, he's annoyed with himself, Coutinho. I actually think he's probably played a little bit too high at the start of this game, not getting involved enough deeper, where I think he's so effective, where he links play brilliantly, gets the ball into his front men.
The thoughts of Matt Holland alongside me, Ian Dante, here at the Spartak Stadium in Moscow, in the northwest of the city. Serbia 0, Brazil 0, if you're just tuning into World Cup Live. Remember, it's England tomorrow at this time against Belgium in Kaliningrad. Mark Saggers, Jim Proudfoot, Stuart Pearce, Nigel Adley, our top team there in the enclave to bring you that game, and we'll see just how many changes Messrs Southgate and Martinez do indeed make to their starting lineups. No changes for Brazil tonight. And Fagner, their right back, picks up possession in his own half, threads it down the line for Willian, but he's got Kolarov right at his back. But again, a poor challenge from Kolarov, says the Iranian referee, and Williams won a free kick just inside his own half for Brazil.
Well, you can't win the ball through someone, and that's exactly what Kolarov has done. Straight through the back of Willian. Clear free kick,
which Fagner rolls back to Thiago Silva, squaring it across the edge of his own penalty area to Miranda, under no pressure, can trot towards the midway point of his own half before he looks for an option. Felipe Luis showing to his left. Neymar once again has two red shirts converging on him the moment he receives possession. Has it again in his own half this time, being watched by Rukavina and Tadic. Plays a lovely ball round the corner for Jesus, who's onside, into the area, left-hand side, the angle's tight, steps inside the defender and hits it against the other centre-half, Milenkovic, and behind for a corner kick.
Well, it's Milenkovic's error. He allows Jesus to run in behind him, tries to step up, doesn't even see him. Wonderful vision from Neymar to pick him out. Jesus probably should have got his shot away a bit sooner.
Short corner for Brazil between Neymar and Coutinho. Neymar now has it, level with the edge of the penalty area, plays the ball into the box for Coutinho, trying to make space for a right-footed drive, but he's forced out of the box by three Serbian shirts, and it's clipped back into the box by Thiago Silva, but over everyone's head and sails behind for a goal kick to Serbia. We approach the half hour and it's still goalless on TalkSport here in Moscow.
Well, Serbia got two young centre-halves, and they're at 6s and 7s there. One was 5 yards higher up the pitch than the other, and Jesus took advantage of it. Milenkovic just didn't see him at all, wasn't aware of the run. He was lucky that Jesus took his time, came back onto his right-hand side, and it allowed Milenkovic to make the block.
You've got two centre-halves there for Serbia with, before tonight, just 7 caps between them. It's a big call from Kostic to give them both their opportunity tonight. Admittedly, you've got the vast experience of Kolarov with 79 appearances tonight, but Rukavina, approaching a half-century of caps, is also experienced, but the centre-halves have lots of questions to answer as this game goes on, you imagine. Serbia in possession, but Laic a bit wasteful with the ball at his feet inside the Brazil half, and so the 5 times winners have it back with Thiago Silva. Gets towards the edge of the centre circle and then squares the ball left for Miranda. Now the ball played in field by Felipe Luis, looking for Coutinho further forward. It's one back by Serbia. Mitrovic is fouled by Thiago Silva, who chested the ball down, tried to head it further into his own path, and then a high boot caught him from Thiago Silva. Free kick to Serbia, 0-0.
It was about waist height, wasn't it? I don't proportionally blame to Thiago Silva, just trying to nick the ball in front of him. He did duck down very low, Mitrovic. There's a good balance about this Serbia team. You talked about the two centre-halves being young, the two full-backs actually a little bit older, a bit of him more experience, but that youth and experience, there's a nice blend about them.
So a free kick to Serbia, just ahead of the centre circle in the Brazil half, and to the right of centre. Tadic to float it into the area. It's headed clear by Casemiro, picked up by Neymar just at the edge of his own penalty area. Feeds Jesus, who tries to work it down the left-hand side, tries to step inside 2 Serbian players. Neymar brings it on. Was he caught? He was indeed by Laic, and that's going to be a free kick to Brazil. Could be a card for Laic. And in fact, the referee wants a word with somebody on the Serbian bench. Meantime, Switzerland take the lead. Blerin Gemaili gives Switzerland the lead against Costa Rica, and that opens up all sorts of opportunities in this group. Switzerland will win the group, for example, and then it's a straight fight between Serbia and Brazil for second place.
Yeah, as things stand, it's Switzerland, Mexico, Brazil, Sweden, if my maths is right,
I knew I could rely on you. Laic gets the yellow card from our Iranian referee, and Brazil will have a free kick. It was a pretty grotty challenge on Neymar on this near touch line, wasn't it, Matt?
Well, he's taken a bit of punishment in the opening 3 games. Going to test that injury, aren't they?
Not as much punishment tonight so far as he's certainly got in the first half hour against Switzerland, I would say. Lichtsteiner and Barami were nipping at his heels all the way through that first half in particular. So first yellow card of the game goes to Laic of Serbia. Now Mitrovic inside the centre circle as the Brazilian free kick comes to nothing. Thiago Silva under pressure from Kostic works the ball neatly out to Fagner on the right hand side. Willian on halfway finds Casemiro, turns a first time ball over the top looking for Paulinho. It's cleared away by Veljkovic up to the halfway line where Nemanja Matic bulldozes his way past Casemiro, and it's sent away down the left hand side by Mitrovic for Kostic, level with the edge of the box. Tadic is in the area, still with Kostic, works it back to Kolarov, early ball into the near post. Tadic controls it, feeds it across the face of goal. Mitrovic tries to hook it goalwards but hooks it high over the crossbar for a Brazil goal kick.
Well, it's an excellent counter-attack from Serbia. Good pace down the left-hand side and a decent ball in from Tadic. Difficult skill though from Mitrovic. He's back to goal. He tried the first time effort over his head. He would have been better off trying to get a hold of it.
Well, Brazil just 1 win in 7 attempts against European sides at a World Cup. That opener on home soil in 2014 against Croatia. It started with an own goal that put Croatia ahead, I seem to remember. Back with Stojkovic in the Serbian goal. Left-footed clearance, poor clearance, straight to the chest of Casemiro. Now Neymar driving into the edge of the Serbian penalty area, squares it left for Coutinho, 25 yards out, clips the ball into the box looking for Paulinho, I think. Ball bounces at the edge of the box. Milinkovic, Savic and Kolarov between them nod it back to the keeper Stojkovic, and once again Serbia can breathe a little easier. 11 to half time on TalkSport. Serbia 0, Brazil 0.
He was actually, I think, trying to find Neymar, Coutinho. He's really annoyed with himself. That's 2 or 3 times now he's had the ball in a really good position and not been able to find his target. His passing's just been a bit off.
You listen to World Cup Live on TalkSport. Serbia goalless against Brazil, but as I mentioned, Switzerland 1, Costa Rica 0. That's live on TalkSport 2 right now. Gemaili with the goal just after the half hour for the Swiss, who are, as it stands, top of Group E. And Brazil are second as things stand. Serbia third, but a goal for Serbia changes all that. Here is Coutinho on halfway for Brazil, faced up by Milinkovic Savic, so he drifts infield and clips a lovely ball. Paulinho on the run, lobs it over the keeper and scores a quite majestic goal for Brazil to put them in front with 10 minutes to half time. The ball over the top was quite sensational, but Paulinho made the run, timed it to perfection, and with ease lobbed it over Stojkovic, and Brazil have the lead in the Spartak Stadium. Serbia 0, Brazil 1.
Well, that is a touch of class. We know Brazil have got individual quality. They're giving him too much time, Coutinho, to get his head up and pick a pass. But you need the pass to be right, you need the run to be right. And we've talked an awful lot in this first half about Paulinho. Those late runs from deep, Jesus comes short, he makes the run in behind, and he times it to perfection. He lifts it over the goalkeeper. A terrific goal from Brazil. Wonderful play.
So Paulinho scores his 13th international goal. This is the guy that Tite recalled for the World Cup qualifiers. He'd been out in the international wilderness before the arrival of the new head coach, and he's a very important cog in the Brazilian machine now, Paulinho. And the former Spurs man, now at Barca of course, gives Brazil the lead with 36 minutes played in the Spartak Stadium.
Well, Coutinho might have given a couple of balls away, but you give him that much time and space, he won't miss it the third time, and he didn't. He delivered. What a fantastic pass.
That was quite an assist from Philippe Coutinho. His Barca teammate, of course, latched onto it and made it 1-0. Here's Laic for Serbia as the European side tried to respond. Kolarov out on the left-hand side, gives it back to Laic. Left-hand corner of the box, tries to drive into the area, looking for Mitrovic. Miranda heads clear. It's back at the edge of the box with Milinkovic Savic. Headed clear by Paulinho, but picked up by Milinkovic Savic, but then he runs into Coutinho. He just knocks it down for Neymar inside his own half, just calmly brings it to a standstill for a moment and then flicks the ball back to Felipe Luis. Now we'll see whether Brazil just start bringing out the flicks and tricks now they're a goal up.
Well, it's fascinating because with Switzerland taking the lead as well, Serbia have to win. They're a goal behind. They're going to have to be more adventurous.
Willian, just shy of the halfway line, finds Fagner. Paulinho, the goal scorer, now sends it back for Felipe Luis. Over the halfway line for Neymar. His first touch runs him into a bit of trouble. Had it taken off his toe by Milinkovic-Savic, and then Coutinho is caught by Rukavina as he moved infield, and another free kick to Brazil, this time just ahead of the centre circle in the Serbian half. Serbia 0, Brazil 1 on TalkSport.
And it's Samba time inside the Spartak Stadium. Looking around, the yellow shirts, they're bouncing up and down, they're loving it.
Tell you what, the Brazilians don't half travel. Wherever you go to watch them play, the yellow in the stands dominates, simply dominates. Doesn't matter who the opposition is. Quite extraordinary support that comes to watch the Seleção. And they're ahead here on TalkSport with 7 minutes to half time and heading through to the knockout stages, as you might expect. But here's Nemanja Matic for Serbia in the centre circle. Laic picks it up now inside the Brazilian half, has to come in field from the left hand side. Matic plays a little 1-2 with Kostic and looks for Kolarov out on the left hand side of the field, nicks the ball inside for Mitrovic. Brazilian player Thiago Silva went to ground trying to challenge Mitrovic. Milinkovic-Savic plays a neat ball for Laic. It's worked out to the left and Kolarov teases the ball into the area. Milinkovic-Savic went for the header, got there ahead of Felipe Luis, but Felipe Luis actually got the final touch and put it behind for a Serbian corner. 1-0 Brazil.
There it is, that late run from Milinkovic-Savic from deep. We're going to see that more and more. He's going to have to get himself into advanced positions. Desperate, they need to win the game.
You heard it from Matt Holland. A point's not good enough for Serbia with Switzerland leading. They've got to win the game, and they have a corner, trailing Brazil by 1-0. Laic is going to hit a right-footed in-swing, but not before the referees just had a word with one or two of the players talking about pushing and holding.
That's three they've tried though with the right foot in-swinger. Left foot away from the goalkeeper.
And it comes from Laic into the near post. Alisson punches clear again, right in front of Nemanja Matic, and Dusan Tadic tried an acrobatic first-time volley from the edge of the D. We can hear from the Brazilian support pretty much where that ended up in Rosette. 1-0 Brazil.
Three corners, all on the top of the goalkeeper. Been easy for him, just to come out, get a good punch, use the left foot, get it away from the goalkeeper, use your height advantage.
Referee telling Alisson to get on with it as it's a goal kick after that poor Tadic effort. And there's a high press from the Serbian strikers, stopping Alisson just passing it out to one of his centre-halves. So he plays it up to halfway, but Willian, in trying to flick it to Paulinho, gave it away. Serbia have it again down their left-hand side with Laic. Kolarov moving up on the left-hand side. Kostic making a strong run towards the byline. Can he keep it in play? He can, and he's won a corner off Willian, who is tracking back well for Brazil to try and prevent the cross, but he's conceded a corner. 1-0 Brazil.
Oh, it's good defending. I just wonder whether that came off the Serbian man last. I think it bounced off Willian onto the Serbian man. Oh no, it actually came back onto Willian's hand.
It's going to be another in-swinger, much to Matt Holland's quizzical look away to my left-hand side. Laic again for Serbia to hit this into the near post, headed clear strongly by Casemiro. Kolarov's got time to bring it down inside the Brazilian half, back to the halfway line, and Rukavina, who works it immediately out to this near side, the right for Serbia, and Dusan Tadic takes it in field away from Felipe Luis. Milinkovic-Savic trying to flick the ball into the area for the run of the centre-half who come up from the back. Milenkovic. It's cleared away by Brazil, and it comes off Rukavina last, and Brazil have won a throw-in inside the Serbian half, and they lead by 1-0 with 3.5 to go in the first half on TalkSport.
That's work rate from Neymar. That's better. That high press from Brazil. He was the first one trying to close it down, trying to keep Serbia in their own half, and he won his team a throw in there.
Thiago Silva finds Fagner inside the Brazilian half, up to halfway for Willian. Kolarov on his back, but Willian turns away and finds Casemiro, plays a little 1-2 with him, looks up on the halfway line and doesn't see an option, so he clips it left for Felipe Luis. Now out to this near touchline, and Neymar stood right in front of Kostic, the Serbian boss, suited and booted, as is Chiche's opposite number. Then Neymar is fouled, this time by Tadic. Neymar stayed down. Little affectionate pat on the back from Tadic for Neymar, who's clutching his hands to his face. He's trying to avoid a booking here. Tadic is having a word from the referee, and I think that's just one more and you're in the book, son. Free kick to Brazil anyway, 1-0 they lead.
Honestly, it's minimal contact, really minimal contact. He's rolling about as if he had a whack in the face. It's a touch on the face.
Well, this is what Tim Vickery, our South American correspondent, was saying you may have heard in the build-up to the game about the theatrics that accompany Neymar's game. Paulinho, the goal scorer, right-hand side, runs into Kolarov, who's a bit of a man mountain. Claimed he was being obstructed, but the referee waves play on. Picked up by Kostic, tried to play a 1-2 with Mitrovic just shy of the halfway line, that almost came off and allowed Kostic to go full pelt into the Brazilian half, but the yellow-shirted Brazilians win it back, and Casemiro, that important pivot in front of the back four, tidies up for Brazil. 2 minutes to go in the first half. You're listening to World Cup Live on Talk Sport. Given away this time needlessly by Neymar to Nemanja Matic. Strokes it over the halfway line, but poorly. He was looking for Laic, but Laic was caught on his heels, and Brazil have it back again. Casemiro finds Coutinho in the centre circle, drives into the Serbian half, but he was dispossessed this time by Matic. Heavy touch from Coutinho allowed the Manchester United man to win the ball back. Now Milinkovic-Savic. We're going to drive through into the Brazilian half, but he was being shown too much attention by Gabriel Jesus. And Serbia have a free kick just inside the Brazilian half towards the right-hand side. 1-0 Brazil.
Quite like Milinkovic-Savic. Powerful runner, strong, decent on the ball. There's a lot of talk about him coming to the Premier League or getting a big money move, should I say.
Here's Mitrovic, who's in the Premier League, of course, with either Newcastle or Fulham, depending what his destiny is, having got Fulham in to the Premier League with all those goals he scored on loan from St James's Park. He's lost out. Neymar brings it away for Brazil. Dribbling the ball towards the halfway line, tries to throw it through to the right-hand side for Willian. Kolarov just enough. And then Milenkovic dumped it out of play for a Brazilian throw on the far side. 30 seconds of normal time to go in the first half. 1-0 Brazil.
Well, since taking the lead, there's more and more gaps appearing.
Talk Sport of the World Cup. Every game live of this tournament right through to the 15th of July in the final here in Moscow at the Luzhniki. Will Brazil be there? They were so desperate to be in the final in American Art 4 years ago. We all know what happened against Germany. Oh, did we mention Germany are out? They're out. Ball turned around the corner by Tadic for Rukavina, who just couldn't keep it in play on this near side. He had some green grass to move into, but just couldn't get there in time before the ball span out of play, and Brazil have a throw.
Well, we're still not seeing vintage Brazil, are we? They've played well enough today, and they've been the better side. It's not been vintage from them. They're getting the job done, and they've got magical quality players, haven't they? In Coutinho to find that pass. What a player.
Felipe Luis floats it up to halfway. We're into 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time here on TalkSport at the Spartak Stadium. Brazil leading by a goal to nil. So too are Switzerland against Costa Rica over on TalkSport 2 as they approach the half-time there. Ball over the top from Fagner, looking for Neymar down the left-hand side of the area, but Rukavina heads it out of play for a throw, which Neymar takes quickly from Felipe Luis, who's got some space midway point of the Serbian half. Flicks it back out to Neymar, level with the edge of the area. Faced up by Tadic, his opposite number. Just toe pokes it back to Felipe Luis, who tries to drive down the left-hand side. Little back heel for Neymar, beautifully done. Neymar goes for goal, and it flashes over the angle of post and bar. Big Stojkovic thought he had it covered anyway. Goal kick Serbia, and a minute of stoppage time gone. 1-0 Brazil.
It's lovely to see the tricks, the flicks. It's what you associate Brazil with. You've got a left back in Felipe Luis who's done a little back heel into the path of Neymar. And remember Coutinho's goal in that first game against Switzerland? This was the same sort of area, wasn't it, that Neymar strikes an effort, can't quite find that corner, but it's wonderful curling effort from Neymar, just wide.
Fagner clears the Serbian goal kick for Brazil. Matic loses out in the midfield. Willian finds Paulinho, driving forward once again for Brazil to the right-hand corner of the area. Still going Paulinho to the byline, plays it into the near post, took a slight deflection and allowed Stojkovic to claim, with Jesus and Neymar motoring into the box as well.
Great run from Paulinho again from deep. But once he got into the byline, you have to try and get across the goalkeeper because that's the only place he can put it.
Mitrovic tries to win a header as Stojkovic volleys it downfield. Referee takes a look at his watch and decides that is that for the first half, and Brazil have the advantage here at the Spartak Stadium in Moscow, and with all the stylish players on show wearing the yellow of Brazil, it's one of the players who was in the wilderness a couple of years ago, Paulinho, back at Barcelona, who put Brazil ahead. A quite sumptuous pass to set him away through the centre from Philippe Coutinho. He did the rest by just lobbing it over the advancing Stojkovic. Serbia have huffed and puffed, forced corners, but not forced any gilt-edged chances with them. And as it stands, it's Brazil and Switzerland who will go through to the round of 16. Half-time here at the Spartak Stadium in Moscow. Serbia 0, Brazil 1. Thank you, Adrian. Serbia have got to overturn history if they're going to get through to the knockout stages. They've lost all 6 World Cup games previously where they've conceded first. They've managed 2 1-0 wins in their time, but they're 1-0 down here as the second half commences, live on TalkSport here at the Spartak Stadium in northwest Moscow. Serbia in their red shirts with the white trim on the shoulders and the shorts, red shorts and red socks as well, kicking from right to left as we look in our commentary position, low down. Brazil in their traditional yellow and blue are found offside with Neymar early on. Alisson is the Brazilian goalkeeper. Fagner, Thiago Silva, Miranda the skipper, and Felipe Luis at left back now after Marcelo went off injured early in the piece. Casemiro, Coutinho and the goal scorer Paulinho in midfield. Willian and Neymar either side of Gabriel Jesus. And for Serbia, Stojkovic is in possession currently, the goalkeeper. Rukavina, Milenkovic, Veljkovic and Kolarov at the back. Matic and Milinkovic-Savic in defensive midfield with Lajic, Kostic and Tadic in behind Mitrovic up front. And it's going to be Stojkovic the keeper to fire a ball down the centre of the field. Up goes Mitrovic to win a header against Casemiro. Nodded down by Nemanja Matic, but only as far as Willian on this near to us now, the Brazilian right. And he's worked it in for Gabriel Jesus, but he runs into the young Veljkovic, the former Spurs centre-half. But there was a foul on Willian, and that'll be a free kick to Brazil. They're back underway in Nizhny as well between Switzerland and Costa Rica. Switzerland leading by a goal to 0. Live commentary of that over on TalkSport 2 with Adam and John. Meantime, Fagner hits a wonderful raking pass out to the far side of the field to pick out Neymar, but to be fair, he had to head it up in the air to keep it in. Felt he was fouled by Rukavina and went to ground early. Again, Tim Vickery was talking about this. He wants to turn football into a non-contact sport, does Neymar, and there did appear to be a great deal of contact on him that sent him to ground. Serbia have it back.
Nothing better than a nice 50-50 crunching tackle in central midfield. Come on, Neymar, what's the matter with you?
Here's Veljkovic turning it over the halfway line. Clear left arm right in the small of the back of Mitrovic, which means Serbia have a free kick just ahead of the centre circle. They've taken it quickly. Milinkovic-Savic out to the right-hand side, and Rukavina rolls into the feet of Dusan Tadic, who, unless you haven't already heard today, has left Southampton. He will join Ajax on July the 1st for an undisclosed fee and leave the St Mary's after a pretty good record in terms of goals when he's not a striker. And think about the time he spent there, 23 goals in 162 appearances in 4 years at St Mary's. Here's Mitrovic driving towards the right-hand corner of the box, still has the ball, runs into trouble in the shape of Miranda, the skipper, who gets it clear for Brazil. Neymar intelligently flicks the ball in field right on the touchline, and this time it's Jesus who's fouled, and that's a yellow card for Nemanja Matic.
And that means if they go through, he misses the next game as well, as he was one of the 6 players that Serbia had prior to this game on a yellow card. It was a late challenge, good pace from Jesus to get away from him.
So it's going to be a free kick to Brazil just inside the Serbian half. They lead by a goal to 0, remember, Brazil, through that wonderfully taken goal from Paulinho just under 10 minutes from half time. Miranda teases the ball down the left hand side, but Neymar is offside. Assistant is right on it on the near side to us, and Serbia have the free kick. Any discernible change in the way Serbia are set up at the start of the second half, Matt Holland?
No, seems to be pretty much the same. I'm not sure how long that'll last. I think if they are to get back into this game, they've got to start playing to Mitrovic's strengths. You know, we've talked about how good he is in the air. He wants to bully the centre halves. Well, get the ball wide, get the ball into the box, get Milinkovic-Savic making those runs from deep.
What was interesting to me, I know Adrian was right, it was a very sloppy half-time warm-up from the subs, but there were a lot of crosses being put in from the right-hand side for the substitutes. I wonder. Anyway, Kolarov down the left-hand side for Serbia. Hits the ball into the area, it's half cleared by Fagner. Now it's put down towards the halfway line of Veljkovic. And we're just being told, as Laic is in possession, that Marcelo had to come off with severe back spasms. So it clearly wasn't a challenge that was causing him the issue. I thought it was off the ball, but back spasms, that may just be a temporary thing for the Brazilian left back. We'll see whether he's involved, if indeed Brazil hang on to this lead and get through to the round of 16.
Yeah, I think Brazil will be hoping so. Having said that, I think Felipe Luis has come on and done a really good job. He's probably better defensively, maybe doesn't add as much going forward, but he keeps his position maybe better than Marcelo.
Goal kick to Brazil, again a high press from Serbia, meaning that Alisson has to tease the ball out to the left-hand touchline for the aforementioned Felipe Luis, but Serbia have it back and give it away just as quickly to Coutinho, just shy of the halfway line. Early ball out to this near side of Brazil, right, and Willian faced up by Kolarov, so he goes infield to Paulinho, the goal scorer. Willian has it back, just shifting to the side as he moves infield. Fagner plays it downfield and Kolarov puts it out of play. He was trying to clear it first time, I think, but Brazil have a throw right in front of Chicha, their coach, taken by Fagner. Willian tries to spin away from Matic, who is on a yellow, remember, and Casemiro tries to hit a diagonal ball and it makes its way out to Neymar on the far side. Rukavina thought he could get there, but he couldn't, and then the ball's played right through Coutinho, who couldn't trap the ball the way he wanted to. Casemiro sends it back towards the edge of the Serbian penalty area, and a really heavy challenge from Laic goes in on Casemiro, but the referee waves play on because Brazil are in possession with their superstar Neymar. Felipe Luis rolls into the feet of Gabriel Jesus, who's now in the left wing position. He loses out temporarily, and then it's won back by Neymar into the feet of Paulinho, tries to give it back to Neymar as he ran through to the edge of the area, but it's just cleared away by Milenkovic, the centre half of Serbia, and Thiago Silva will pick it up. Matt Holland.
There was evidence there, wasn't it, of Casemiro, what he brings to the team. A raking 60-yard diagonal to Neymar, and then he won two 50-50 chances in midfield just to prevent Serbia get on the counter.
Willian away down the right-hand side for Brazil, gets to the byline, Kolarov putting him under pressure. He's got assistance from Fagner should he want to use it, Willian, but he's going for the byline again, fires it across the face of goal, and Milenkovic right in front of his keeper put it out of play for a throw with his left.
Well, they still need to get someone across that front post. I think it was Coutinho who was doing his best to make that run, but someone's got to do it.
Serbia 0, Brazil 1 on TalkSport. Willian driving in field from the right-hand side to the centre of the Serbian half. Feeds Felipe Luis, who hits a first-time ball flicked out to the left, or intended for Neymar, but it was too casual from Felipe Luis and out of play for a Serbian throw. To be taken quickly. Milinkovic-Savic gets it up to halfway and plays a little 1-2 with Dusan Tadic. Wanted to flick it in field for Mitrovic, but Mitrovic had gone ahead of the ball. Here's Coutinho winning it back for Brazil. Neymar approaching the left-hand corner of the penalty area. Faced up by Milenkovic, runs away from him, leaves the ball for Coutinho, has to toe poke it out to Fagner on the right-hand side. Back in field for Casemiro. Felipe Luis calling for it on the far side of the field. Lovely touch from Neymar to find Coutinho. Tried to give it back to Neymar, but it was intercepted by Matic. Now Laic, here's a break on for Serbia, 4-on-3 for the moment. Laic going to the edge of the area, feeds Tadic inside the box, squares it back for Laic, who runs into Casemiro, and Brazil clear their lines. 1-0 they lead.
Well, why on earth did Tadic turn back? It was on to shoot. He had the space, it was in front of him. Have a touch with your right foot, get your shot away.
But just that's the first time we've seen Serbia overloaded on Brazil going forward. But Brazil have the lead through Paulinho's first half goal, and it's still 1-0 to Switzerland in Group E's other tie. Gemayli's goal separating the sides in Nizhny. Here in Moscow, it's with Nemanja Matic of Manchester United. Looks up as he gets towards the halfway line, looking for an option. Kostic has come short and picks it up from him. Feeds it out to the right-hand side for Rukavina. In the side for Branislav Ivanovic tonight. Adding a bit more pace to the right flank for Serbia. Milinkovic-Savic floats the ball out to this near side for Kolarov. Chests it down. Gets to by the corner flag. Williams there trying to close him down. Kolarov rolls it back for Nemanja Matic. Milinkovic-Savic calling for it a bit further infield. Has it. Tries to lob the ball into the area for Laic. Good header cleared by Miranda. Headed back into the right-hand channel for Serbia by Rukavina. Laic picks it up but has to go back to Milenkovic on the halfway line, and Serbia will try and set play up again with Matic.
Well, they're doing enough to remind Brazil that they're still in this game, they're not going away.
Kostic has to tease the ball back to Veljkovic. Now it's Laic bringing the ball in field, middle of the Brazilian half. Good turn by Milinkovic-Savic, tried to drive, blocked by Miranda, the skipper. Up into the air by Milenkovic, and then Milinkovic-Savic can't control it on his chest, and it's out of play for a Brazil throw. Nearly 10 minutes gone in the second half on TalkSport. Serbia 0, Brazil 1. As it stands, Brazil win the group, and Switzerland, who also lead 1-0, will come second.
Well, we talked him up at half-time, Milinkovic-Savic, and he started this second half really brightly, looking to get on the ball.
Matt Holland alongside me, Ian Danter in the commentary box here at the Spartak Stadium. Paulinho, who scored that opener for Brazil in the last 10 minutes of the first half, thinks he's won a throw right in front of us, and indeed he has, says the Iranian assistant on this near side. So Fagner will have it. Plays for the Corinthians club in Brazil. Had a couple of moves to Europe with PSV and Wolfsburg that didn't really work out for Fagner, so he went back home to Brazil and rebuilt his career at Corinthians, and now he's in the national squad, playing for the injured Danny Lowe and, of course, the absent Dani Alves.
Yeah, we've got both full-backs now, aren't they? Because Dani Alves out the squad entirely. Marcelo with that back injury, so Felipe Luis doing the job at left-back, Fagner at right-back.
Casemiro tries to clear for Brazil, only finds Laic. Now he's worked it down the left-hand side for Kostic. Good ball in field, a dummy from Tadic trying to feed Mitrovic at the edge of the D. Brazil only half clear. Now it's out on the left-hand side with Filip Kostic. Laic looks to hit a diagonal ball in with his right. Oh, and it's hooked over his own crossbar by Miranda just in the nick of time. Mitrovic was flying across the goalkeeper, who didn't really know what to do, but his skipper bailed him out. Serbian corner.
Well, to be honest, it was the goalkeeper's ball. Milinkovic-Savic makes the decent run, but it was just dropping into the hands of Alisson. Miranda was taking no chances.
Corner to Serbia. Outswinger from Kolarov into the near post. But Veljkovic can't get a piece of it. Comes out back out to this near side, and Brazil try and win it back. Coutinho flicks it in field with his heel and gets it back from William, and he's away, and now sets Neymar away. Neymar into the area, left hand side, takes a touch and drives it against the goalkeeper's legs, and behind for a Brazil corner.
Well, that would have been game over, and it would have been Serbia's own fault. They've got a set piece, it's their best route back into this game, and they hit the first man. Everyone's trying to get back, and Brazil just break from back to front so quickly. Again, it's Coutinho's pass into the path of Neymar. He waits, eventually takes the shot, and a good save. Costa Rica
equalise against Switzerland, 1-1. Here's the corner for Neymar for Brazil. He hits the first defender, Rukavina, who's taken it full in the face at the edge of the penalty area. And it means there's going to be another corner in quick succession for Neymar to take.
Right, come on, Carol Vorderman, what does that mean?
I'll work it out. Here's the corner for Neymar into the near post, flicked on by Thiago Silva, deep to the far post and headed behind by Milenkovic, the other centre half, for another corner to Brazil. What that means is Brazil are still top, 5 points. Switzerland now on 5 points. Serbia, if they get a goal, will only move on to 4 points, so they've still got to win to come second of Serbia as things stand. Corner to Brazil on the right hand side this time, to be taken by the number 19 Willian. Drives it deep to the far post, looking for Paulinho, headed out by Kolarov, headed back into the area by Neymar. Matic takes it out the area with a header, chested down by Kostic, who lofts it over the halfway line, and that's brilliant defended by Coutinho. Knew that Laic was in behind him, but stretched out a right boot and poked it out for a throw to Serbia.
Yeah, he's been absolutely outstanding. His all-round game been terrific. We talked about his passing, but that as well, tracking back, making sure that Serbia can't get on the counter.
Waston, by the way, is equalised for Costa Rica against Switzerland in Nizhny. You can follow that game over on TalkSport 2. Here on TalkSport World Cup Live, we're approaching the hour mark in Moscow. Serbia 0, the 5-time world champions Brazil 1. Paulinho with the goal. Matic for Serbia finds Dusan Tadic. Out on the right-hand side is Rukavina, approaching the edge of the penalty area for Serbia. Matic strokes it into the edge of the box. Tadic turns it round the corner, fired across the face of goal by Rukavina, but a comfortable claim at his near post for Alisson. Stays 1-0 Brazil.
Well, he's screaming the same as I've been mentioning with Brazil, hitting it across the front man, making sure someone gets across the first man. Well, Mitrovic just stood still in the middle of the box, just hoping for a ball lifted into him. He has to move.
Free kick given for a foul on the left-hand side of the field. It was Neymar that was caught, inevitably. inside his own half, and so Miranda will take the free kick for Brazil. Branislav Ivanovic has darted out of the technical area to retrieve a second ball that had somehow wandered onto the field of play on the near side to us. Now it's back with Miranda. Once again the Brazilian fans starting the bouncing and the flinging of the scarves above their heads, singing songs and enjoying the night. They could enjoy it even more if Brazil get a second, and they're powering forward with Coutinho towards the edge of the area, flicks it right to Willian at the edge of the D, gives it back to Coutinho, lobs it into the area. Is Jesus onside? He is. No, the flag's now finally gone up as it was nodded back to the keeper. But a really inventive play from Coutinho trying to find his teammate.
Yeah, he couldn't quite wait long enough, could he, for it to come down. Jesus Milenkovic just towed it away from him into the path of the goalkeeper. He was offside anyway, but this game's opening up, isn't it?
Well, Kolarov just tried to feed Mitrovic with a ball round the corner into the half, and it was Alisson, the sweeper keeper, racing out of his goal. He was fully 15 yards outside his area when he cleared that ball ahead of Mitrovic.
There's a desperation about Serbia, so they're having to go for it, which means it's an entertaining game. It's opening up.
It's win or bust for Serbia now, and they're 1-0 down. Remember, Tadic finds Rukavina, fires it across the face of goal. Oh, Alisson poked it out straight to Mitrovic, who headed it against Thiago Silva's thigh, and Brazil survive.
The goalkeeper's been terrific, Alisson, this evening, but he makes an absolute shocker here. And he palms it straight into the path of Mitrovic. I think he could have held it. He didn't. He decided to get a hand on it and push it away from the danger area. He just pushed it into Mitrovic's head. 6 yards out, couldn't get any power on it. Thiago Silva made the block.
Big chance for Serbia goes begging. Stays 1-0 to Brazil on TalkSport on the hour. Neymar, lovely ball in field with the outside of his right boot for Coutinho, but in slides Milenkovic to win it back for Serbia. Serbia going home as things stand. They need to win now. They were hoping that Costa Rica might have done them a favour, but it's only 1-1 in Nizhny. So the onus now on the European side to get 2 goals, and here's Nemanja Matic striding forward, feeds Laic down the right hand side of the box, gets to the byline, fires it across the face of goal. It's hooked away somewhat unconvincingly, first by Fagner and then by Willian, drops out to the left hand side of the box, and Kostic back for Kolarov. Now back out to Kostic on the left hand side, who drives for the byline. Good ball into the near post, but nobody there in a red shirt. Thiago Silva and Willian head it clear, but it's still back with Serbia. Kostic again on this near side, faced up by Fagner, gives the ball back to Kolarov, his skipper, rolls the ball to the left hand corner of the box where Tadic turns, runs for the byline, clips the ball to the far post, and Alisson, I don't know whether he got something on it, it dropped away from the goal, it didn't go out for a corner. And now the Serbian fans have a bit of belief around us here in the Spartak Stadium.
That was better from Tadic, wasn't it? That lifting the ball into the far post. He was nowhere near, he didn't know where his goal was, Alisson.
Ball into the area, Milinkovic-Savic left hand side, feeds it back for Tadic, who's in a bit of space, across the face of goal. Mitrovic can't get a piece of it, courtesy of Miranda's clearance, and Thiago Silva gets it further clear. Now it's Velskovic for Serbia, trying to apply some pressure here. Tadic inside the box, left hand side, rolls his foot on the ball, gives it back to Milinkovic-Savic, who tries to curl it goalwards but doesn't get any curl on it, and it goes behind for a Brazilian goal kick. Brazil hold on to their goal lead, but they're being asked some questions now in Moscow.
It's a brilliant effort from Serbia. They're doing everything right. They're pushing Brazil back, they're putting balls into the box, the manager's urging them on, there's a tempo about them. Milinkovic-Savic is getting further and further forward. There's a real desire to get back into this game.
Brazil are readying a change down beneath us, just to our right in actual fact. Fernandinho, who regularly comes on as a substitute, has already in this World Cup. Looks like he may be introduced very, very shortly, getting some final words from Cicic. Meanwhile, Serbia yet to make any changes. This will be Brazil's second change, don't forget, because Felipe Luis had to come on for the injured Marcelo after 10 minutes tonight. Finally, Alisson will take the goal kick. He was just holding himself as he got back to his feet after that last chance for Serbia, fires it downfield, looking for Jesus, comfortable header clear for Milenkovic, and here's Matic again, driving through the centre circle. He's suddenly got the taste for it, Nemanja Matic, but Serbia claim a handball against Brazil, not given.
He's not the only one, they've all got the taste for it. These Serbians are having a right go.
But here come Brazil on the counter. Neymar, left hand side, just takes the game down to walking pace and chips the ball in field for Coutinho in that dangerous little area where he loves to be. 25-30 yards out, coming in from the left hand side to the centre. Gets it back from Neymar. Has to play it back to Felipe Luis.
And that's the Serbia fans you can hear for the first time this evening. Brazil have drowned them out for the majority of it. But there they are now.
Mitrovic,
good voice, aren't they?
Mitrovic fighting for a ball with Miranda on the halfway line, but loses out. The change is going to be made, and the player coming off, it looks like, well, it may well be Paulinho, the goal scorer, that's being sacrificed by Chichi. Anyway, here comes Serbia again. Right hand side, it's Laic. Gets to the right hand corner of the area, just skips away from Neymar. Good ball out to the right, and Rukavina. 3 to hit in the area. Dibi goes to the far post. Mitrovic, good save. Down low by Alisson. He got a good planted header, firm and downwards, as you're taught to. But it was straight to Alisson, but he still had to clutch hold of it, and did on his goal line.
Right, it's a mismatch at the far post there. Fagner, about 5'10" against Mitrovic, 6'3". The desire to go and win the ball, but straight to Alisson. It's another good chance for Serbia.
And here comes the change as Brazil win a free kick inside their own half, and it is indeed Paulinho who's coming off. Fernandinho, of course, a little more defensively minded. We know all about him, and that will be a slight shift in policy from Brazil, won't it, Matt Holland?
Yeah, you'd think so. I mean, Casemiro and Fernandinho will probably play alongside each other now, won't they? Maybe put Coutinho into the number 10 position ahead of them, possibly.
Yeah, more like a 4-2-3-1, you would say, as Manchester City's Fernandinho comes on. Another player who's ignored for a couple of years, internationally speaking, until after the World Cup in Brazil 4 years ago. 1-0 Brazil. 25 minutes to play on TalkSport here in Moscow. Brazil going through as group winners, with Switzerland second, even though they're being held 1-1 in Nizhny by Costa Rica. Serbia going home unless they win here, and they're trying hard to get back into this game. But here come Brazil with Neymar into the area looking for Gabriel Jesus. Just played it through the legs of a couple of Serbian players, but Veljkovic just lobs it clear, and now Mitrovic fighting for the ball with Miranda was offside, and Brazil have themselves a free kick. And we wait for Serbia to make their first switch. Doesn't look likely at the moment.
Well, why would you make a change right now? Because you're on top, you're having a go 20 minutes into this second half, you've been the better team, you're forcing Brazil back, creating chances.
Here's Willian for Brazil, just by the centre circle. Finds Coutinho in space, just inside the Serbian half, who immediately releases Neymar down the left. Running to the edge of the penalty area, left-hand side. Few step-overs, hit the ball against Rukavina. Corner Brazil, they lead by a goal to nil, midway through the second half on TalkSport.
Right, he tried to find the run of Coutinho. Neymar's just gone to the corner flag, and he's just urging that support a bit more from the Brazil fans.
My word, how they respond. Short corner from Neymar to Coutinho, out on that far left-hand side. Gives it back to Neymar, faced up by Tadic. Now he just drops his shoulder, goes for the byline into the near post, and Mitrovic, back defending, has to put it behind for another corner to Brazil. 1-0, the Brazilians lead.
Well, on the counter, and Serbia have the majority of this possession. Neymar and Coutinho do look a threat. They've got to be aware.
So another corner. Will this be taken short again by Neymar? Coutinho still standing near to him, but I think Neymar fancies driving this one into the box. He does, into the near post. It's 2-0. It's Thiago Silva who heads it home at the near post. Firm header. Nobody went with him in Serbian red. And Brazil are coasting through to the round of 16. Thiago Silva makes it Serbia 0, Brazil 2.
Undone in the first half by a moment of quality from Coutinho. The second, they'll be absolutely furious. We talked about the height advantage, how much better at set pieces they'll be. To concede from a set piece is absolutely criminal. That should be enough now to see Brazil into the last 16. Good delivery from Neymar. Thiago Silva wanted it more. He got the run on his man. I think it was Milenkovic, and he powers it past the goalkeeper.
Lovely header from Thiago Silva at the near post. His 6th international goal. Made his debut 10 years ago, just before the Olympics for his country. And that's his first goal of his 2018 World Cup. And Brazil have doubled their lead on TalkSport. And we're back underway at the Spartak Stadium, with Serbia's task now nigh on impossible. They've got to score 3 goals without reply in order to make the round of 16. Here's Kostic on the halfway line. Party time. Samba party about to begin, you sense. Ball's back with Milenkovic. who did lose Thiago Silva for that second goal just now. Gives it to Milinkovic-Savic, closed down by Fernandinho, played over the ball halfway line neatly for Dusan Tadic. Now Kolarov down the left-hand side, first time cross from him, hits Fagner and goes out of play for a Serbian throw. They take it quickly. Tadic on this near side finds Kolarov once more, gives it to the edge of the area and Kostic clips it into the area looking for Mitrovic. He was the only Serbian player in the box and there were enough Brazilian shirts around him to deal with it and get it clear. Neymar tries to lob it over Milinkovic-Savic, lovely skill, and he's away down the left. Gabriel Jesus going like an express train through the inside right channel. It's on the left hand side still with Neymar, left hand corner of the box, clips it to the edge of the area. Coutinho tries to get onto his right, gets the drive and it's blocked behind for a corner kick eventually for Brazil.
That is top draw from Neymar. His first touch, the flick over Milinkovic-Savic, the run, the pace, the ability to pick Coutinho out, absolutely brilliant from him. Might not have been at his best this tournament, but that was brilliant.
Yellow card meantime has been issued to a Serbian player. It might well be Mitrovic for a bit of back chat to the referee.
He's another one, isn't he, that was on a yellow card. Well, imagine they're going out anyway, I think.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
2-0 to Brazil, 20 minutes to play on Talk Sports. 1-1 still between Switzerland and Costa Rica, by the way. That game's over on Talk Sport 2. Here's the corner from Willian into the near post. This time Serbia get it clear. Only as far as Felipe Luis drives it goals and a good save by Stojkovic. Saw it through a crowd of legs at the edge of the area. Hit fully 25 yards out by Felipe Luis and Stojkovic got it out of harm's way.
Yeah, he watched it all the way, but actually did palm it back into the danger area. You'd like him really to palm it away from goal.
Throw-in is the result for Brazil. 5 yards from the corner flag, right-hand side. Willian looks for Gabriel Jesus, gives it back to Willian. Now it's with Fagner, back for Casemiro. Plays the ball in field for Fernandinho. Felipe Luis now picks it up. 1 and 2 touch football from Brazil now. Neymar picks it up left-hand corner of the area. Feeds Felipe Luis on the overlap. Tries to square it back for Coutinho. Doesn't quite drop for him. And Serbia will get it half clear. And then a player is fouled, Kostic, just outside the penalty area. And Serbia can clear their lines with a free kick. 2-0 Brazil.
Right, you get the feeling that the race is run now for Serbia. Hearts are broken. They've had an absolute brilliant effort at it in the second period, but that second goal has killed it off.
Kolarov tries to play the ball into the area looking for the early run of Tadic. And you think back to the game against Switzerland where Mitrovic gave them that early lead and they surrendered. That winning goal from Shaqiri after that wonderful hit from Xhaka to get them level. That's what's cost Serbia at this World Cup. Lovely turn from Gabriel Jesus meantime. It's applauded by Matt Holland just to my left-hand side.
Now it was a little flick from Casemiro into his path that I was applauding.
Here's Neymar, out to the left-hand side and Felipe Luis, who's got a bit of space to gallop into. Rukavina comes to close him down. Luis pokes the ball into the area. Flick back by Coutinho for Neymar. Checking onto his right, tried to curl it goalwards. It's cleared by Serbia, but then it's intercepted by Casemiro. Drops for Nemanja Matic, who plays the ball down the left-hand side looking for Kostic, but that's intercepted by Thiago Silva. Felipe Luis popping up in the inside right channel. Now moves back across to the left as Willian picks up possession for Brazil.
It's like that second goal has just lifted a weight off Brazil's shoulders, and they're now playing with the freedom that we expect from them.
And here's Neymar again on the left-hand side for Brazil. Plays the ball into the feet of Coutinho and receives the ball back. Receives it again from Fernandinho. Up to the edge of the area, plays a 1-2 with Willian. Still Neymar. Tries to play it on the overlap for Gabriel Jesus. It was a lovely idea, but Jesus caught on his heels and it's through for Stojkovic.
It's been really nice to watch, hasn't it? Since that second goal, some of the football they've been playing.
44,190 here inside the Spartak Stadium. Enjoying this now, apart from the Serbian contingent, mostly away to the left-hand corner as we look. Brazil 2-0 up and cruising. Neymar strokes the ball impudently out to this near side for Fagner. There will be a change being made shortly for Serbia, and we'll be seeing Andrija Zivkovic of Benfica in a few short moments' time. Meantime, Thiago Silva plays the ball into the centre circle for Fernandinho. Now out to the left of Felipe Luis. Coutinho Gives it back to Felipe Luis. There's a couple of red Serbian shirts around him, forcing Felipe Luis to go further back into his own half, and his skipper Miranda strokes it backwards a square for Thiago Silva. Now it's a long diagonal ball out to Willian on this near side, but it's out of play. That will allow the change to be made by Serbia, and it is indeed Andrija Živković who is coming on, and he's going to be replacing Adam Ljajić in midfield. Made his debut in 2013, the youngest Serb ever at international level at 17. Part of the Under-20 World Cup squad that we mentioned in our introduction, including the best goal of the tournament, Živković. So he's on for the remaining, 15 minutes or so. And it looks increasingly like a lost cause for Serbia. Brazil 2-0 up. Serbia needed to win tonight, particularly with Switzerland drawing with Costa Rica. They've got 15 minutes to get 3 goals without reply. Tough against most opposition. Against Brazil, even tougher, you would say. Mitrovic can't get a piece of it. It's rolled into the area intended for him. It's won back by Miranda. Casemiro does a couple of step-overs and drives through the halfway line and feeds Neymar. Neymar running at Milenkovic towards the left-hand corner of the box again. Jesus going into the area. Neymar runs into Milenkovic and falls away from the ball. And Živković gets his first touch, wearing a little cast on his left arm as he plays the ball through to Tadic. Tadic tries to take the ball away from Miranda and run towards goal, but across comes Thiago Silva on the cover for Brazil. Felipe Luis plays it neatly in field for Fernandinho, midway point of his own half, and now Fagner can stride towards halfway. Indeed, he just feeds Willian. Willian now steps away from Kostic into the centre circle. Misses out Coutinho and finds Casemiro. Out to the left-hand side where Neymar once again waits. Another run at Rukavina towards the left-hand corner of the area. Drives for the byline this time, Neymar. Looking for an option in the area. Can't find one, so he goes back to Felipe Luis. Now Coutinho picks it up in that position where he scored from against Switzerland. Back into the area for Neymar. Gabriel Jesus, and Neymar getting a complete tangle at the edge of the area, but Jesus still has it. Running out towards the corner flag, left-hand side. Step-overs and rolling his foot on the ball to get away from Živković. Party tricks starting to come out now for Brazil at 2-0 up.
I was going to say, it's like an exhibition now, isn't it? The little tricks, the flicks, clever bits of play, entertaining the crowd.
Here's Willian for Fagner. They're going to cheer every pass now. You can sense it as Willian gets it back from Fagner. Plays the ball infield neatly for Casemiro, right at the edge of the centre circle in the Serbian half. Left it goes first to Felipe Luis and then to Neymar. Gives it back to Felipe Luis. Coutinho gets a touch. It's all quick, sharp 1- and 2-touch football now for Brazil.
Horrible, isn't it? You know you're going out, you're 2-0 down and you're chasing shadows. A long 15 minutes this is.
Serbia 0, Brazil 2 on TalkSport. 13 minutes to play in the Spartak Stadium in Moscow. As it stands, Brazil will play Mexico in Samara. Switzerland will play Sweden in St. Petersburg.
This isn't like yesterday when we saw Denmark just passing the ball around at the back. They're passing with a purpose. They're looking now to try and score a third and a fourth.
Yeah, Jesus just working on the shoulder of Veljkovic outside the area, trying to find some space. Ball's with Fagner, right-hand side for Brazil. Willian hugging the right-hand touchline, just moves infield. Jesus wants it, 25 yards out with his back to goal. Tries to roll Veljkovic, can't do so. Pokes it back out to the right, and Fagner. Ball into the area along the floor intended for Willian. It's half cleared. It's back with Fernandinho. Rolls the ball into the centre of the Serbian half, and Casemiro, who tries a drive. It's way over the bar. Goal kick Serbia. 2-0 Brazil lead with 12 minutes to play on TalkSport, and Casemiro just grins a rueful grin at the bench.
Well, that would have been spectacular because they're about 40 yards out.
Goal kick for Serbia, taken quickly. Veljkovic will pick it up and find Milenkovic, his centre-half partner. Another change coming up for Brazil. Renato Augusto, who we saw come on late against the Swiss, is coming on again tonight. We'll see who for in a minute. Meantime, it's Živković, the substitute for Serbia. Good ball down the right flank for Rukavina. Can he arc across into the area? 3 to hit. It's the first defender. Fernandinho cleared away. It
will be interesting to see who he takes off. I mean, I think he'd like to give Neymar 90 minutes. Just keep building that fitness.
Meantime, Dusan Tadic for Serbia. 2-0 down, needing to score 3 to go through. Zivkovic whips the ball into the area. Matic on the turn on the penalty spot, tried to spin and fire the ball left-footed goalwards, but came off the outside of his boot and behind, and the change sees Coutinho being withdrawn to allow Renato Augusto another few minutes for Brazil here at this World Cup.
Well, that's a sensible change. An extra defensively more minded, isn't he, than Coutinho. Give Coutinho a bit of a break. I think we're both in agreement that he's been Brazil's best player these first 3 games.
Renato Augusto plays in China, where Paulinho was before he came back to Barcelona. Plays for the Beijing club now. This Renato Augusto. Matic, meantime, heads the ball on for Serbia, but Fagner will get it clear. He's done okay at right back, hasn't he, Fagner, for someone who's come into the squad so late?
Yeah, not phased at all.
He's not a galloping full-back in the Josimar, Cafu, Dani Alves mould, is he? He's a little bit more conservative than that. But he knows his position, it seems to me. And now he's trying to keep the ball away from Kolarov, and in fact, the ball just bounced out of play off the Serbian captain's head, and Fagner will have a throw for Brazil. 10 minutes to play on TalkSport. Serbia 0, Brazil 2 in Group E. And remember, tomorrow night it's Belgium against England in Kaliningrad. Full commentary, 7 o'clock kickoff, with Jim Proudfoot, Stuart Pearce, with Mark Sang as your host, and Nigel Adderley getting all the post-match interviews with the great and the good. Here is Willian for Brazil. Finds Neymar again, left-hand side. Once more he's driving at Rukavina, but this time puts his foot on the ball and gives the ball back to Willian. Willian needs an option ahead of him, doesn't really have one, so he goes back to Casemiro and now Fernandinho. Now here's Fagner in a slightly further forward position. Gives it back to Thiago Silva. Casemiro now in the centre circle. Plays a little 1-2 with Renato Augusto. Fernandinho. Brazil just happy to keep the ball, just keep it away from the Serbians, and then they loft the ball down the left-hand side looking for Neymar. Rukavina heads out, and that will allow another change to be made for Serbia. And Nemanja Radonjic of Red Star is going to come on. And he made his debut just under a year ago against South Korea. Played at all youth levels. He was at Roma as a youth, and he's coming on, Radonjic, for Filip Kostic for these last 8.5 minutes or so on TalkSport.
Well, to be honest, if you're playing in red this evening, you'd rather the ref just blew his whistle now, because you know you're going home and you're getting a real chasing. Brazil are really enjoying themselves, passing the ball at a tempo.
Matt Holland alongside me in the commentary box here on TalkSport at the Spartak Stadium. 8 minutes to play. Serbia 0, Brazil 2 in Group E. Still 1-1 between Switzerland and Costa Rica. Willian in behind Kolarov into the area, right hand side, plenty to pull it back to. Goes into the near post, drops for Neymar, and he volleys it into the turf and over the bar. Goal kick Serbia, and Brazil still lead 2-0.
Well, Chiche is still directing his team. He's unhappy with the miss. He's still telling him to push high. I mean, the game's done, it's won. But you can see that winning mentality from him.
There's so many of the big guns at this World Cup have flattered to deceive. Have we mentioned Germany are out? I think we have. Adrian might mention it again before we're done. Argentina diced with death, but they're through. Germany, the big casualties of this World Cup so far. Brazil, though, are going to win Group E, and they will take on Mexico as things stand in Samara next week.
Not until the second goal, though, have they looked really safe.
Yeah.
And up until that second goal, Serbia were desperately pushing hard to try and find an equaliser, but all of a sudden that second goal just lifted everything from them.
Neymar goes to ground under pressure from Milinkovic-Savic. Ball's worked out to Radonjic, his first touch down the left-hand side for Serbia. Tries to flick the ball into Tadic, comfortably won back by Casemiro. Willian inside his own half. That was in the back of his head as he turns away from Tadic, but actually took it out of play inadvertently, and Serbia have a throw. So Brazil will now be unbeaten in 15 group stage games. Their last loss in the group stage was to Norway in a game that didn't really matter to Brazil. They'd already qualified 20 years ago at France 98. That's one loss in 27 group stage matches now. They know how to negotiate these early parts of tournaments, even when it doesn't look like it at times, Brazil. Kolarov runs into Wagner, cleared away, looking for Willian to get a piece of it. It will be a Brazil throw. It came off a Serbian boot last of all. 6 minutes to go, and the agony continues for the Serbian players out there on the pitch, counting down to their elimination from this World Cup. Wagner throws the ball in for Gabriel Jesus, turns away from the centre half, does brilliantly, and finds Felipe Luis, who strokes the ball into the path of Neymar, who picks it once again left-hand side inside the Serbian half. Thought about driving down that left-hand side, but instead goes backwards to Renato Augusto. The in-turn finds Casemiro. Little triangles of passing inside the Serbian half as they look to frustrate their opponents more and more and more.
It hasn't been all about Neymar though tonight, has it? The first game we watched them against Switzerland, he was doing too much, he was taking too many touches, he was trying to be involved too heavily and trying to really show that he was fit and ready to go at this World Cup. But tonight he's been much better. Stood out on that left-hand side, moments of magic from him, he looks fitter.
Felipe Luis finds Gabriel Jesus. Renato Augusto now plays it out to the left-hand side where Neymar hugs the touchline. Zivkovic watching him, he darts infield, he's only just level with the edge of the centre circle, but as deep downfield as he has been in the last 10 minutes or so. Final change coming up for Serbia, by the way, as Willian's in possession on this near side to us, the Brazilian right. Fernandinho gives it back to Willian. Now he just drives forward, just drops the shoulder on Tadic. Gabriel Jesus made a run, but he looks for Neymar. Lovely ball from Willian. Finds Neymar. Left-hand side, into the area. Puts the afterburners on. He's still got it with his back to goal at the edge of the D. Thinks about teeing up a teammate. Now runs out to the right-hand side. Back heels it. For Fernandinho, eclipses the ball into the area. Oh, Neymar's on it! And out comes Stojkovic just to raise his right arm and keep it away from Neymar to stop another goal being lobbed over him for 3-0.
Well, I wonder whether he might well have been offside, but he was heavily involved again, Neymar. Tried to lift it over the goal. Really good goalkeeping because he made himself so big.
Milinkovic-Savic for Serbia. 4 minutes to go on TalkSport. Brazil will top the group, and they look to be growing into this tournament. Kolarov, meantime, for Serbia. Into the area for Tadic, who the Brazilian players thought was offside. Nothing doing, said the official on the far side of the field, and Milinkovic-Savic rolls it infield for Matic. Back out to the skipper Kolarov. Ball into the area, into the near post. Decent delivery, almost found Mitrovic. Good clearance from Thiago Silva. Well, I did question Thiago Silva's involvement at this World Cup in place of Marquinhos, but he's proved me wrong tonight. He's had a really good solid performance at centre half. But here's Tadic inside the area for Serbia. Feeds Mitrovic, blocked this time by Fernandinho as he tried to swing the ball goalwards. Matic driving into the edge of the area. Loses out, and now away comes Jesus, who's clipped by Milinkovic-Savic. In fact, the referee says no foul, play on. Didn't see anything wrong with that challenge on Jesus. Kolarov didn't realise the ball was coming to him at first on the left-hand side. Ball just caught his heel. Now down the left-hand side of the area with Radonjic, but Brazil win it back again. We're into the last 2.5 minutes. Switzerland have retaken the lead. Dumic, the substitute, who came on for Valon Barami on the hour, has given Switzerland the lead back in that tie. 2-1 they lead.
Doesn't change anything though, does it?
Doesn't change anything in terms of the table. Brazil still lead on goal difference with a +4 to a +2 goal difference. So they still have 7 points like Switzerland, but they go through with a better goal difference. Serbia will remain on 3, Costa Rica on 0. Fernandinho down the right-hand side, looks to play the ball into the area. Neymar collects it, left-hand side, faced up by the centre half. Milenkovic, still Neymar has it. Left-hand corner of the 6-yard box this time, but he can't quite wriggle his way into space. And Serbia get it half clear, but in steps Wagner to win it back, but then he's dispossessed. And Serbia, through Dusan Tadic, can bring it away.
He's desperate to get a goal, Neymar, and he's given Milenkovic a really tough time this evening. And it was good defending, stood his ground.
Heading towards the last minute of normal time here on TalkSport, World Cup Live. And here is Radonjic for Serbia. Looking for Zivkovic, who's popped up on the left-hand side. Tries to whip across him with his left off the back of Wagner and out for a throw. And it will allow a final change to be made. It's A young man, just 20 years of age, Luka Jovic of Eintracht Frankfurt, who's only making his second appearance for Serbia. Got his debut at the start of the month of June against Chile as a substitute for Mitrovic, and that's exactly the same substitution that's been made by Kostajc here. This one just to give him a few minutes of action out there, but the game is done for Serbia. Can they get a consolation? Radonjic driving for the byline, left-hand side. Good ball across the face of goal. Thiago Silva there again to hook it half clear and headed out for a throw by Willian. Serbia have another throw, left-hand side. Kolarov to take it into the feet of Dusan Tadic. Matt Holland.
There's a bit of resilience though about this Brazil team. They've had to withstand a bit of pressure. First 20 minutes of the second half, Serbia had a right go at them, and they've withstood it. And you don't get the feeling that they'll get done 7 at this World Cup.
They've just won the ball back on their own byline, and Renato Augusto can bring the ball forward. Instantly looks to see where Neymar is. Just shy of the halfway line. Flicks it neatly in field for Casemiro. Casemiro rolls his foot on the ball on the halfway line. Was he fouled by Tadic? No, says the referee. Zivkovic comes forward now for Serbia. Feeds Tadic again on the right-hand corner of the box. Faced up by Felipe Luis. Tadic flicks it back for Zivkovic, who tried to cross it for Jovic inside the area. And as we go into 3 minutes of stoppage time, Brazil have that 2-goal lead, but they're still under a bit of pressure here. Zivkovic once more whips the ball into the area, headed out by Miranda, the skipper. Comfortable header clear as well for the Brazilian captain. Now it's back in midfield with Velskovic. Matic looks to thread the ball down the left-hand side, but Willian just toe pokes it clear, looking for an option. Driving towards the halfway line and feeds Renato Augusto, who's got plenty of green grass to run into. Jesus to his right, Neymar to his left. Passing the ball behind Gabriel Jesus, but Willian will still retrieve it down by the corner flag right-hand side. Velskovic goes with him. Willian now has Fernandinho making a run, right-hand corner of the box. Plays the ball into the area along the floor, looking for Neymar. Intercepted by Milinkovic-Savic, and Serbia can clear. 2-0 Brazil lead.
Professional performance though from Brazil. They've done it well, particularly after going 2-0 up. They've kept the ball really well.
Good ball from Radonjic out to the right-hand side for Serbia to Zivkovic. Attacking the area, tries to drive with his left, and it's well wide of Alisson's right-hand post. And it's a goal kick to Brazil. And their passage, safe passage to the round of 16 is assured, but it was assured long before now.
Yep, so Mexico against Brazil, Sweden against Switzerland. That's the last 16 matchups.
So that's that quarter of the draw sorted. The other quarter will be sorted out tomorrow, of course. The groups G and H being decided. England's group in the evening. England, Belgium live on TalkSport, of course. You've still got that group with Japan, Colombia and Senegal to sort out tomorrow afternoon as well. Both those games live on the TalkSport network from 3 o'clock. Thiago Silva in possession for Brazil, rolls it across to his skipper. The 2 minutes of minimum stoppage time have elapsed. There's one more to go. And now Fernandinho for Brazil squares it for Fagner. Back in field for Fernandinho. Serbian players are now just trotting after the ball. It's a thankless task really at this point. Brazil just turning the ball round corners like Casemiro's just done there for Fernandinho. Now it's Renato Augusto. Looks for Neymar. One last flourish from him maybe. Lovely ball through to Gabriel Jesus. Flicks it back for Neymar. Can he take it round the keeper? He can't. It's a good block by Stojkovic to put it behind for a corner when Neymar thought he'd done enough from a tight angle to get a third for Brazil.
I know it's open and Serbia have committed lots of bodies forward, so there's plenty of gaps at the back, but that interchange again between Jesus and Neymar, terrific football again. But I'm been impressed with the goalkeeper Stojkovic. He's been off his line very quickly. He's made some big saves.
Full-time whistle goes in the Spartak Stadium, and never in doubt for Brazil in the end. They qualify as Group E winners for the round of 16. A goal either side of half-time. Paulinho with the first after a delicious Coutinho pass set him free through the middle. He did the rest past Stojkovic. And then Thiago Silva with a bullet header at the near post from a corner just after the midway point of the second half. Serbia did start the second half strongly, but they couldn't find the net, and Brazil powered through to the knockout stages as Costa Rica equalised late on through Brian Ruiz against Switzerland 2-2. Doesn't affect things really. It still means Brazil win the group and Switzerland comes second. But Brazil starting to find their feet at the 2018 World Cup. A comfortable win here at the Spartak Stadium. Full-time score, Serbia 0, Brazil 2.